Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a positive and productive day so far. My name is Kel with the Planner Owl, and today I'm reviewing the October subscription from 8Lotus and sharing all the ways you can use the items inside. This is the second box by 8Lotus, and I'm so excited to see what they've included. The first box met all of my expectations for a functional planning box, so I definitely have high hopes for this one. I have the Deluxe box, but they offer a classic subscription as well. That's dashboards and inserts only. If you want to see a breakdown of all of the subscriptions 8Lotus offers, I'll link that breakdown video in the description. Make sure to stick around until the end for my final thoughts, and as always, feel free to leave me a comment below with any questions or topics you'd like for me to include in my next video. Without further ado, let's hop in. So hopping into this box, as a refresher, 8Lotus ships the 15th through 20th of each month, so this month includes their October collection, which is nice to be able to receive the items the month prior. So first we have this vellum card that lists what's in the box, then we have this little thank you card, a horizontal calendar card for October, and a square journaling card that says invest in yourself on the front. Next, for Deluxe subscribers, we have this planner accessories packet with quite a few things inside. First, we have this little bat paperclip, which is a super cute nod to Halloween. Then we have 3 small photo cards here with different images representing fall. This one is a woman in a blazer, a woman sitting in heels, and then a cup of cappuccino. Very warm autumn theme tones. Then we have the October intentions card with 3 journaling cards matching each point. The first is embrace change, the second is to be present, and the third is seek balance. I'm not going to read each one, but feel free to pause if you want to read the detail below each category. But I love the messaging here. Such good reminders to welcome new opportunities, enjoy the moment, and prioritize yourself. And then the last thing is the October date card, which includes a few lines to write any goals or affirmations or anything else that you want to write in this space for the month. I feel like journaling cards are never features of subscription boxes anymore, but I absolutely love getting them. They're such an easy way to update your planner and change up your colors or decor without having to put as much thought into it. And I love the ones with positive words or something motivating or funny. It always puts you in a good mood, and it's nice to see anytime that you're planning for a long or challenging day. These are fantastic. I'm not sure where I'm going to use these little small ones, but it's great that they included a lot here to choose from. Next, we have 4 dashboards this month. 2 come with the classic subscription and all 4 come with the deluxe. So first we have the acrylic art dashboard. This is an abstract brushstroke look in a very neutral brown, white, and gray tone, almost like brushed concrete. It's a nice thick cardstock and it has a smooth feel to it. It's got a textured look and the colorway has a bit of an earthy feel. You can certainly use this dashboard alone, or if you want, it came paired with this new beginning dashboard. This is a thin, matte, semi-transparent vellum. The text says every ending is the start of a new beginning in this sort of vertical layout. This dashboard is very similar in style and message to my current dashboard and my main agenda that I purchased last year from 8Lotus. This one says this is just the beginning and it's only going to get better from here. I love the look and feel of these. They're perfect for layering, which is what I think the intended purpose for these sort of thinner, transparent ones are. One thing to note is that the text on this one is slightly off center. You can see it looks like they printed it maybe a quarter of an inch too far to the right. It may not matter to most people, but I'm a stickler when it comes to things lining up. If something is a little crooked or off center or something, it just bugs me until I fix it. I'm not sure if this one is just mine or if it was an entire batch that was off, but just something to note. You can use this with the acrylic art dashboard or with another dashboard that you have in your collection to build the look that you want, or you can use it by itself over maybe a monthly cover or something. These are super versatile, and again, because the colors are neutral, it shouldn't be too intrusive with your planner theme or design. The second set of dashboards are the October and Fall watercolor dashboards, and these are exclusive to Deluxe subscribers only. So looking at the October one, this is the same thin vellum as the New Beginning dashboard and really serves as a cover for your monthly sections or inserts. It comes paired with this super colorful Fall watercolor dashboard. It's completely different from anything Infinite Lotus sells and is honestly pretty off-brand with the company's overall aesthetic and design theme. That being said, this dashboard is absolutely gorgeous. It's got a lot of orange, pinks, and reds, and while I'm not typically a fan of a lot of color, there's a few things that make this dashboard work for me. So first, because there's no writing on it, you can use this as a bottom layer to your transparent or semi-transparent dashboards, which can mute the colors on the picture or add a nice underlay to a basic cover that you may want to spruce up a little. Also, because the back is blank, you can use it as a place to hold sticky notes or maybe use it as an inbox or a place to hold your page flags. The other great thing about this is that it's a perfect dashboard to use seasonally. So even if you don't use it in your planner year round, the autumn theme with the orange forest and the reflection in the water is a great look for fall and can be an option if you like to decorate your spaces for holidays or something where your intended purpose is to use it temporarily instead of it being a permanent fixture in your agenda. I really like this, especially paired with the October vellum cover. I won't use it after October, but it's a really nice flash of color and design to have for October, which is always a fun month anyway, with all the costumes and trick-or-treating and parties and things. Again, very off theme for Infinite Lotus, but an excellent surprise addition to the Deluxe box. Next, we have my favorite part of these sub boxes, and that's the inserts. And just like last month, they gave us 4 sets. We have daily priorities, call log, lined notes, and weekly plan inserts. So starting with the daily priority inserts first, you have 15 pages front and back, so 30 sheets total. At the top, you have 5 sections for each day of the week. In the wide column, there's 5 lines with a circle to check off when you've completed that task, and then 3 narrow columns to list when you started and finished the task, and then a total column, which is where you can list the total time it took to complete that task if you choose to use it that way. I really like these inserts. They're super straightforward and easy to use. Because they have 5 lines here, they're really meant to be used for your high-level priorities as opposed to general to-dos. Otherwise, you'll likely run out of space. You can use these by themselves in their own section or layer them over your daily or weekly inserts if you use them as a way to track your most important tasks, especially if your scheduling layout doesn't have a priority section. They have 3 columns here where you can check off when you've started and finished, or you can use these spaces to put the time or the day of the week that you started or completed each task as well. If you don't want to use these columns or you don't really have a need to, then you can just disregard those and use it as a basic checklist. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these just yet. My monthly and weekly inserts both have a section to list priorities, so I really don't need the extra lines. If you do need more lines to help prioritize your day, or if you like comparing your important tasks or focus from day to day, then I think these will definitely be a win for you. Second, we have the call log inserts, and similar to the daily priority, they give us 15 pages front and back, so a total of 30 sheets. Here, there's 5 sections on each page. You have number and date in bold, and then a line to write the name, contact, reason for the call, 2 lines to list any notes, and then a shorter line to list when the call started, ended, and the length. I do like these inserts, although I think the use will be limited to certain roles or specific use cases. For example, I think this would be great for people who do a lot of callbacks at their jobs, or maybe you need to follow up with certain people on a project or something. Maybe there's certain times of the year where you need to touch base with your team or executives or something, and having a list to make sure you reached everyone could be necessary. Another way you could use these is if you just have a lot of calls that you need to make, and this could be a good log to have to remind you when you last spoke to someone that you had an important conversation with. So for example, maybe you're moving and you're trying to find the best internet service in the area. You can use this to keep a log of companies you called and write down the offers in the notes area. There are a lot of ways that you can make this work for you, and they give you a lot of sheets here, but I think if you're using this for work calls and you have a lot to make, it would probably make more sense to use a digital log to keep records. So for example, in my job, I do a lot of partner outreach and one-on-ones with my team. Using this as my primary log would be way too time consuming compared to using my computer. Another thing to note with this insert is the start, end, and length section here. I don't think this is all that useful unless you're in a role where you need to track how long your calls are, and if that is your role, then there's very likely that there's some sort of automated tool that tracks that for you, so you're not manually calculating that. Because of its limitations, I have no plans to use this, but if you do want to use it and you don't have a work need for them, I think you could modify this to make it work as a contact list. You have all of the categories that you would need, and it could be a nice way to keep all of your important contacts in one log. The third insert is the line notes, and these blank style inserts are really a must-have staple in any agenda. There's 30 sheets total like the others this month, and you have one narrow column and one wide column that you can use for a variety of purposes. So one of the most obvious ways to use this is for notes. Because you have this narrow column, you can use it to list the date or maybe the subject or topic of discussion if you're using it for a meeting or something. You could also use it to create to-do lists or grocery lists, maybe use the narrow column as a checkoff or to write the quantity or a category. Along those same lines, you can use it for recipes, list the recipe here, and then write the detail in the wider column. These could also be great for brainstorming or goal tracking. Maybe you need a space to map out ideas for a project or habit tracking. The ways that you can use these are truly endless. These are definitely going in my agenda as we speak. I have several ways that I plan to use them, but for now, it'll be for general notes, tracking, and plans around my channel. You can never go wrong with blank notes pages. They're such an asset given the versatility of them. Such a great addition to the box. The last insert is the weekly plan insert. These are undated weeklies and cover 14 weeks, so about 3 months or so. Here you have your cover page followed by your week on 2-page layout. On the first page at the top you have weekly plan in bold uppercase. Below that you have a narrow column with 3 sections, one for this week that has 7 lines to list any focus areas that you have for the week, a priority section with 3 checklist lines, and then a to-do list section with 14 lines to list your tasks. And in the right column you have your days of the week, Monday through Thursday on this page and Friday through Sunday on the second page. Also on the second page, you have a line at the top to write the week, 15 lines for notes, 6 lines to list anything that you'd like for next week, and then a habit tracker section at the bottom with 6 lines to track exercise, water intake, no spend weeks, logging in your journal, or anything else that you choose to monitor. So weeklies are very personal scheduling spreads, and it's certainly not a one-size-fits-all, which is why they offer so many different layouts. This layout, in my opinion, is excellent for those who want a multi-use spread where you can see your day in a much more structured format that makes it easy to find what you're looking for. A lot of times, layouts with a lot of sections limit the amount that you're able to write in your actual daily blocks, but they do a really great job of giving you enough space to include a pretty good amount of information without it being too cramped, depending on how you use your spreads. If you don't use a habit tracker or you house your trackers in a different area, or if you don't utilize some of the separate sections, then this may feel a bit too cluttered for you. Because weekly spreads are where a lot of people do their primary scheduling, it's really important to choose a layout with only the sections that you need to prevent unused space and to make sure that you have enough writing space for your planning style and what you use your spread for. For me, I currently use the horizontal grid inserts also from 8Lotus. These are my all-time favorite weeklies, and I purchased them again for next year. For my purpose, the grid and block style with this sort of long layout works the best for listing tasks, events, and meetings, which take up about 90% of my week. And having my notes and my to-dos in one section all together, it helps me to visually see what's outstanding and manage my priorities a lot easier. These weeklies also have a lot of benefits. Again, it really just depends on your planning style and your daily priorities. I'm really glad that they included these, especially for those who are either looking for a weekly layout or if you're changing up your layout. Inserts are not cheap, and this is a good way to try out a style for a few months and see if you like it before you make the investment. The other great thing about these is that they're undated, so you can use these at any point throughout the year. They're also a Monday start, which is my favorite since my work schedule is Monday through Friday, but I know a lot of people prefer Sunday start, so just something to note. These are all really great inserts to have, and you can use them in a number of areas in your planning routine. Other than the lined notes ones, I probably won't use the others, but that's because they don't fit my specific planning style. Aside from the call log, I think a lot of people will find use out of these, especially the weekly plan inserts, so I'm really excited that they're including 4 inserts for us to try each month. It's a great feature to these boxes, and it allows us to try different spreads out to see if it works with our routine so we can reduce the cost of trial and error. So again, all 4 inserts in these 2 dashboards are in the Classic subscription. These 2 dashboards, the planner accessories pack, and everything from here on out are in the Deluxe subscription. So next we have 2 sets of mini grid sticky notes. There's 25 notes on each, so 50 stickies total. At the top you have notes, a blank line, and then a really tiny grid that you can use for just about anything. You can of course use these for notes or maybe use it as a checklist or something. You can use it to make little memos as well and stick it to a page in your planner or your inbox. I do like how they have a line here where you can label each sticky if you like, but you don't have to use it if it doesn't make sense. Because the squares here are so tiny, you probably won't be able to write in each square, but you can still use 4 squares for one block if you're using it as a checklist or just use it as a standard sticky. One thing I am happy about with this one is that the grid isn't black. It's sort of a lighter gray, which makes it much easier to see your writing. Because the grid is so small, lighter lines are definitely something that's important to have so your text doesn't look so jumbled. They also included 2 sets of 25 monthly habit tracker sticky notes. You have a line at the top to write the month, a line below that to list the habit that you're tracking, and then 31 blocks for each day and a wider box for you to list what reward you get if you meet your goal. So these are excellent. I love habit trackers. I use them all the time, primarily in my wellness planner. The great thing about these is that you can use them to track maybe your smaller items or to use on the go in your agenda if you don't have space for a full-size tracker. I use these for wellness categories, so for me, I track exercise, water intake, calories, medicine, and my mood. You can also use these to track sleep, books you're reading, journaling, or gratitude. If you're monitoring your finances, you can use them to track no spend days, savings goals, daily expenses, or debt. You can also use it as like an anti-habit tracker. So maybe you want to break bad habits like smoking or drinking. Maybe you want to limit your caffeine intake or limit screen time or time on social media. There's literally a ton of ways that you can use these. Depending on what you're tracking, you can check each box with the pen, or maybe your habit is something that benefits from color coding. Because the squares are small, this would be a great place to use dot markers or highlighters or stickers if you like that look. These are really great to have and a super functional sticky note to have in your collection. Again, I love stickies and I'm really glad that they included these this month. So the last item this month are these page flags. I'm not familiar with this brand, but it looks like this is a Japanese company. You have 4 dispensers with 30 sheets each, one in this light brown color, one in beige, one in this pale bluish, and then one in light lavender. Page flags are one of the most useful planning accessories. They can be used in a number of ways, so I'm never mad to get these insert boxes. I love that they included 4 here, so you have different colors to choose from, and 120 sheets total, which should last you a really long time. The other great thing about these is that they come in their own little dispenser that you can detach and stick to any surface you want. So maybe you use flags frequently in your journal or something, you can attach the dispenser on a dashboard or divider or a cover and have a place for you to pull flags from without having to reach in your desk drawer. These are great to use as page markers or to section off areas in your planner if you don't use dividers. I use them a lot when I'm editing and when I'm blocking off space on my calendar or marking tentative dates. It's a good way for me to list dates further out in the future that may change without having to worry about using whiteout or scratching out the date if I need to. I do want to note that you can buy these online, so these aren't exclusive to Infinite Lotus, which is important to a lot of people. One of the perks of these boxes is to be able to have access to items that are unique and different and things that you can't necessarily go on Amazon and purchase. So it's definitely worth noting that these page flags do not fit into that category. However, it doesn't really bother me as long as it's few and far between. Page flags are so common and so useful that having a set of these, regardless of their originality, is a win in my book. And that wraps up October's deluxe box from Infinite Lotus. All in all, this is another excellent box. For the second subscription, I'm very excited and pleased with the items they're including. Again, you can tell that the focus is on functional products that we can use in our agendas, which is, after all, what we pay for. If you've watched my other videos, you know that dashboards are my favorite planner accessory, and we got 4 of them in one box. I mean, that is kind of insane for a sub box, and that's on top of 4 inserts. That in itself, in my opinion, sets this box apart from so many others, and that's what I love opening my box to see. It was tough picking a favorite, but if I had to choose, I think my favorite item this month would be the fall watercolor dashboard. It was such a pleasant surprise and a really good way to accent the month of October. My least favorite item is the call log insert. I just don't have a use for them, and I feel like these are going to be used by a small number of subscribers compared to the other inserts. There was also a quality control issue with the new beginning dashboard being a little off center. Again, this could just be mine, but I'm interested to know if anyone else had this issue. Not a huge deal, but something I wanted to point out. This is the second box from Infinite Lotus, and so far, this is my favorite planner subscription company. I place a lot of value on the practicality of each item, and so far, Infinite Lotus is knocking it out of the park. I can't wait to see what November has to offer. And that's it, you guys. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more planning and organizational content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram for more planner tips and inspo, sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day.